right. What's up, guys? Let me sit up so everybody can see me. We're back for episode 16, and we've got Taylor Johnson and Dawson Gilbert coming on today. So it'll be a good episode. I had Taylor was highly requested, and Dawson was highly requested too, actually. So I thought it's kind of perfect, being that they're best friends. It'll be a lot of fun, and we can. They're actually going to be on screen at the same time. So we don't have to do 10 minutes in the middle or this or that. We can kind of just go with the flow and however it works out. So it'll be nice. But let's see if there's anything I need to cover first. I don't think so. I'm trying I should be a couple of weeks to come out to Admiral. So we'll be out at Admiral Kart Club. Well, I will. And I'm gonna try also to come to more like local car races and things like that. I was gonna go to VMS, but they canceled, unfortunately. So you guys, hopefully, I'll be able to get a little bit more of that stuff going. And we got the banner back up, so I finally got somewhere I could do that. But big thanks again to David Nettles for his hard work on that. He busted his butt to make sure we could get that and some of the stickers. If anybody needs stickers, I still have some of the little Shady Speed Show stickers we can get. So I got some shirts left, so I don't have many, but I'm waiting to do the next order still until I'm sold out. But without holding up too long, I'm going to go ahead and you guys still hear me good? All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring Taylor and Dawson on, and we can go ahead and get started. All right, what's up, guys? Oh, hey, can you scoot a little closer together?
Yeah.
Or actually, I'll tell you what. Let me see if I can. There you go. How about that? There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, still playing around with this thing. I'm still learning it, but I think we got it. So, first question: How did you guys meet?
So we went to the same elementary school, and actually I was really good friends with her sister, and I came over to her house one day to hang out with her sister, and I met Dawson, and I truthfully like Dawson a lot better.
Yeah. That was in kindergarten.
Yeah, so we've been best friends ever since kindergarten.
Well, that's perfect. That works out nicely then, and especially being that you're both around the racing world, you guys get to see a lot of each other.
Oh yeah.
And Tate's on here every episode. I'm sure he's really watching this episode. He knows you too. So what's up, Tate? I see you, buddy. And so first, Dawson, I wanted to ask you. I know I'm kind of go back and forth. I'm going to ask the same questions, but I kind of want to start either way. But Dawson, I'm going to ask you first. How did you get introduced into the racing world?
Just by Taylor. I mean, I remember going to her Uncle David used to race cars, and I used to go to the Dixieland track, and then she started racing the little carts there, and so I just kept on going with her multiple times, and I started going to Albemarle, and then I just kept on going. Pretty much every summer I would go.
So you kind of covered how Taylor got in at the same time. So Taylor, what was it like for you, like when you were getting started, seeing that your uncle was racing? Did you go to your dad and say, "Dad, I want to race," or was it kind of like?
Well, I was out there every Friday with David and my dad and my mom. And then they were running kids and carts out there, and it was just like, it was like the same chassis we run, but it was just pretty much whatever you can put together and go out there and run. And I remember they put me together. It was just like a little clone motor to go out there and ride, and I loved it. And I just wanted to go faster. And I think one weekend before I actually started racing real karts, I think they put like a limited on me, and I went out there, and I can still remember just driving around there in my helmet, just like moving up and down. I couldn't really see anything. And yeah, I'll never forget that.
So how old were you when you started?
When I was out there, I was 5. I was definitely 5 when I was at the car track still.
Gotcha. So you were riding a limited at 5 years old?
It was something crazy. It was an experience.
And I'm jealous. I'm 28. I still haven't rode one. So now that you guys have been around the world of racing so long, and I mean, from 5 years old up to now, that's a really long time. Now that
Yes.
you've been around the racing world so long, what is your, like, each of yours best memory from racing, the time you've been around it? And Taylor, I'll let you go first.
I think for me personally is really all the people I've met. I really have a couple friends outside of the track, but most of my best friends, I mean, besides Dawson, of course, she's basically from the track now, but probably just all the people you meet from racing is probably my favorite thing, and all the places you get to travel.
Yeah, you get to see some pretty amazing places and do some pretty amazing things and meet some pretty incredible people in the world of racing, whether it's from the kart track or, you know, being at the big car track like you guys used to go to all the time and stuff like that. But that's definitely one of the reasons this show got started, was from all the meeting people.
Oh,
Yeah.
So what about you, Dawson?
Yeah, like kind of like the same thing, but I got to go to Volusia this past year with Cole, and that was really fun. And I don't think I ever would have gotten to do that if I didn't get into like racing with them. So
Yeah.
it was really fun.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I am still waiting to go to Eldora, so
Yeah, that's
Yep.
where we're going next.
That would be
bucket
awesome.
list. I got to tell
Yeah.
Cole when he goes, I'm going to go with him.
Yep.
So other than, you know, covering your best memories and how you started, Dawson, has there been a time when you're watching Taylor race or when you're watching Cole race when you want to race yourself, like you want to climb in and run a Predator or a Limited or an Open or a Champ?
I mean, there's been some times where I had opportunity to get in, but like I want to be with her when I get into a kart, just because like I wouldn't have met everybody else that I've met like without her. And so I've had a couple opportunities and like we just haven't done it yet. And I just want her to be there. So it has to be the perfect time. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been in one yet, so maybe a
Cole's-
Predator sometime. Tomorrow.
Yeah, Cole's watching. He says what's up.
Yeah, I
so
see him.
now he knows. Now he knows that Taylor's got to be there.
Yeah,
So he
he
can-
knows.
he can-
No, he knows.
Oh, he does know. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. As long as you're drawing
I
that
think-
line.
Dawson also, there was one time he almost went out, but either she can't, she doesn't have pants, or another time I think she was worried about going out with other people.
Yeah.
So she'll definitely, it'll probably be like after everyone's scuffing tires or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I might just become a professional tire scuffer. That might just be what I need to do.
Yep.
Hey, I am a professional tire washer, so.
So Taylor, with you being around, you know, being that you already are racing, what is your dream race that you want to go run?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with where I've been so far, and I don't know. Like I really, like we were talking about earlier, the limiteds. I would really like to run a limit again, and I know like the race of the year for that is the Big O, but that's such a prestigious race that, you know, I don't really want to go there and just waste the time away. But if maybe limited at like Halloween Havoc or something like that would be pretty cool.
I will say that the competition at Halloween Havoc and the competition at Big O, considering that Austin Yarber and Steven Adams have won it the last, 4 times?
Yeah.
Are the
it
guys
may-
that come to Halloween Havoc, it's about the same if you think about it. And it's your home track, I get that, but why not just get
Yeah.
a shot? Just,
Yeah, you're right about that.
as like when you started karting to where you are now, did you see like yourself coming into like working with Wes Morgan and running at the level that you're running? Because you've come a long way from where you started to where you are now. Did you see yourself coming this far?
No, definitely not, because before my dad became the president, it was just me and him racing together out of our trailer, just like Saturday night races at Dixieland. And then he's just gotten so busy there, and Wes has been a huge help. And I know like the first few races I ran with Wes was wintertime, like a year or two ago, and he took me everywhere. We went to Paradise, Triple T, just back to back to back, Daytona, all that. And I never would imagine to be traveling and racing, especially at that level.
Yeah, Wes is a really good dude, and he just needs to respond when I message him next time. But
Yeah, Wes is awesome. He's super busy.
I know he is. I know he is. He's a really busy dude, but I'm gonna give him some time. I'm gonna try him again. But Dawson, for you, like where you started watching Taylor, has it been a pretty cool journey being able to sit there with your best
Oh yeah.
friend and see where she started, or or
Oh,
Cole coming
sure.
back into karting and see how far he's come already? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, definitely. I mean, to see Taylor like how far she's progressed since she was really really little, like in the junior classes and stuff. It's been really cool watching everything unfold, basically.
yeah, I'm sure it's different when you're watching your friends, but it's another level when you're watching your best friend. Like
Hmm.
when you guys have been friends for as long as you have, and to say, you knew Taylor when she climbed in the go kart the first time and was hopping around in the limited and could barely see over the steering wheel, to where she is now running. I think the last time I saw you ran Animal, and you were running up front or something like that. I haven't been to the track in a while, but it's pretty cool to think about as your best friend, seeing your best friend come that far. So I think that's pretty awesome that you guys have that. As now, my next question kind of changes up a little bit. Like, I don't usually get to ask this question because I haven't had any females on here. I can get your perspective, being that you have come along, and Dawson, I can get yours also. Um, I'll actually get yours first. What is it like for you, like when you're having to explain maybe that you're at the track with Taylor, or you were at the track with Cole, or you're something like that? Is it hard? Like, do you find it more difficult for people to sit there and listen, or for
I mean,
people to comprehend what you're saying, or are they kind of like in awe that you're? Because I'm not. I think it's great what you guys do, and I think that you're both
yeah,
at this point you're both probably extremely knowledgeable,
yeah.
regardless of what it is. But is it kind of funny for you to explain it to people?
I mean, not really for like people that don't know anything about racing. It's like they're like, "Oh, you're just going to go watch your best friend and your boyfriend race? Like that's it? Like what's the point of that?" And I'm like, "There's so much to it. Like that it's not just watching them. Like I'm helping out. I'm doing everything I can to do."
Mm-hmm.
And some people don't understand, and but then some people are like, "Oh, that's so cool. I want to come out there." And I've had a few friends come out there. Like my um child best friend, my neighbor, who's also her friend, he's come out there to the track multiple times. Some people understand it, and some people just are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool."
Yeah. Now, so Taylor, for you, uh, there's like a two different questions I could ask. So I am gonna ask kind of the same question I asked Dawson. Like, is it weird for you, or is it hard for you to explain to people kind of what you do, or that you're going to the racetrack every weekend and that you're running as well as you are, or that you're doing this, and people are kind of like, what?
Yeah, so I think the hardest thing for me to try to explain, especially just to people like I meet out in public that know absolutely nothing about racing, and I'm like, yeah, I got a go kart race tomorrow, or got to go work on my go kart. I think the first thing that comes to their mind is like the go karts, like the indoor go karts,
Mm-hmm.
like you go pay and ride around. They think that's what I do. So then I have to go into like a whole discussion. No, it's at the dirt track and it's way completely different, way more expensive. Like there's just so much to it. So I think for me, that's probably the hardest point to get across.
So my next question is, I can ask both of you this, but as a driver, Taylor, what was your biggest obstacle, being that you were a female coming up in racing, that maybe they didn't not it's not that they don't take you seriously, but they look at you a little bit different? What was your biggest obstacle as you were coming up through racing?
Yeah, so definitely the jump from junior three. And when I moved up from junior three, I just went like straight into clone. And that was really rough at first. Like it was rough for the first couple of years or so. But I finally got the hang of it. And then semi pro kind of grew a little bit. So definitely racing with everyone and getting better each race and just earning everyone's respect and making friends. And definitely people, especially people I race with, I know still they think just because you're a girl, you're not serious, and they don't take you as serious. But definitely talking with everyone, I've made a lot of friends, and I feel pretty good about everyone I race with now, and I think we look at each other on the same level of respect now.
Yeah, I think that's fair because you've worked your butt off to get where you are. You've worked with great people, but you've shown results along the way, and that's important. It's not that just
Hmm.
you know, it's not one of those situations where it's um, you know someone's helping you out because it's I'm just a girl. You're going on the track and you're running good. You're putting up the
Yes,
results.
it makes a huge difference too. Like all the people out there that can just show up and ride, and they run great every single weekend, and that has never been the case for me ever. I've put in just as much work every single week just to get prepared and go out there and work as hard as I can, and I think that also helps with earning that respect.
Yeah, I agree. And do you both think that it's harder for each of you to earn the respect of like a racer or someone that you're talking to because being a female, do you think it's a whole different level of respect that you have to earn?
I definitely think it is because especially I'm still pretty young, and you like walk up to these dudes at the track, and I know that they talk to me way differently than they talk to all like their other dude friends. So yeah, I think it definitely can be a little difficult.
What about you, Dawson? Do you think it's different for you? Like, do you think it's a little more challenging for people to like for you to gain the respect of people of helping at the track like you do with Cole, or helping at the track like you do with Taylor, or whether you're buggy pushing, washing tires, or doing whatever you have to do at the track to help?
I mean, maybe not as much as Taylor, but I mean, you'll get those people like I'm always pushing carts up to the grid, and you'll get this like people that are like, "Oh, let me lift it for you," and I'm like, "I got it. I've
Hmm.
lifted plenty of go karts," and I know they're
Guilty.
just being like nice, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that, and I don't mean it for me. I don't know how other people mean it, but I don't mean it as an insult. It's just a manners thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
So
I know. Like,
polite.
yeah, they're just being nice
Yeah.
and whatever. So I don't like.
sometimes, sometimes, not always, sometimes. So it's okay to say, "I got this." Okay, just
Yeah.
Okay,
stand there.
yeah.
But um, for I know we talked about the biggest memories that you have and stuff like that, but and I know Dawson, you mentioned the Lugia as a big memory for you. But has there been a memory at the kart track that you share with Taylor, or that you guys share together, that has been something that you guys have talked about over the years that you won't forget?
I mean, definitely her winning the VDKA race
Yeah.
this last year. That was really big. So
Yeah, that's a
I
pretty
agree.
big.
yeah, that was
Yeah, I think that was definitely because you were helping us out a ton
yeah.
that day, and
Hmm.
Dawson was definitely one of the first people. Yeah, that's probably our best memory at the
Yeah.
kart track.
We have a
Well,
great
there's
picture of us hugging.
Yeah.
that
We
is
do.
great. That's awesome. Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of memories like that. I think I've been doing this 16 years and I've got one. So sometimes, I mean, that one was huge for me, and I never forgot about it, and I still talk about it now, and I know that that's it's just as big for you guys as it was, because you guys, I like I said, I watched how where y'all came from and how you started
Mhm.
to where you are now, and it's it's an impressive journey. And Dawson, I haven't seen you around as much
Yeah.
because I haven't like I go up to the fence and I watch a race and then I come
Yeah.
back, and that was what I was doing. Now I make my way around the pits a little more and I
Hmm.
talk to people and stuff like that, but I wasn't doing that. But I think it's for you too, working with both her and Cole is a really great experience because they're both really good at what they do. So I
Yeah.
think that's pretty awesome. Um, for for the future of, you know, what I already asked Dawson if you want to race at all, but Taylor, what have you got in mind? Maybe have you just ever thought about getting out of karting and trying to run a big car at Dixieland or anything like that?
Honestly, I would love that so much. And I know for sure it wouldn't be hard to do because I've had people tell me and give me the opportunity. And I think the hardest thing, I know I can get away from karting. I'll miss it like crazy. But like I said earlier, Doug's still the president at the kart track, and he spends so much time there, and it takes up so much of his life. that I think it would be really hard for him to be the president there and put the time needed into racing a car, because that's going to be a whole nother big thing. But I know it definitely would be possible, and I know if that's what I wanted to do, that he would definitely drop everything and come and do whatever we needed to do to make it possible. But yeah, I definitely would love to drive a car at Dixieland. Right now, I'm just limited to the rolling car, and mine blew up, so I don't even have that anymore. So that's really unfortunate.
So I think my next question, you mentioned your dad, and we can kind of segue into like what it's like being around the family and stuff like that. Dawson, has your family ever been like has pushed like into racing, or has it just been you like pushing in, like hanging out with Taylor's family and stuff like
They
that?
they have come out to the racetrack a few times, and they enjoy it, but it's not like an every weekend for them like it is for me.
I got
So
you. So your racing family is like Taylor and
yeah, yeah,
Cole and everybody, like that's your racing
hmm,
family.
yes.
So what has for you, what has the racing family meant to you to get like for you to have something on the weekends that you look forward to and you can go do and people to go hang out with and stuff like that?
I mean, pretty much everything. I mean, I ride with either her or I ride with Cole and their family to the track, and I mean, I go to every race I can with them, and I mean, it's awesome. I go to places I've never been to. Like we're going to Paradise this weekend, so and I get to ride with them. So it
That's
means a lot, like for them to kind of take me in and show me around, show me their routes and stuff like that.
that's pretty awesome. And Taylor, I'm gonna ask about your dad in a minute, but what has like the family of racing been like for you? Like how accepting and like people like Wes Morgan working with him, or regardless of who you're around, like what has it meant for you for those people to be accepting and helping and everything like they have?
Yeah, especially Wes, like you said, Wes has been awesome. Wes has been helpful since day one, and it's people like him. Like there's so many people like him in the karting world, and they really make it what it is, and they make karting great. And it's awesome to have people like that around. And there really is a ton of them, and just being able to interact and be around them every weekend, and some of them, a lot of them treat me a lot better than my own family. Some of my family doesn't really understand why I have to go racing every weekend, but of course everyone at the racetrack understands. So yeah, everyone there means a lot to me.
That's awesome. And
Hmm.
since I said something about your dad, I'm gonna like, what has it meant for you to have somebody like your dad, who has, you want to get into karting, and he becomes the president of the track that you're going to race at most of the time, and he's making sure you are taken care of with people, having people like Wes, or regardless of what it is, that your dad's really stepped up and been like that, been amazing for you. What has that meant for you?
I cannot say enough about him. I really don't know how he does what he does, just from being president and still coming, making sure I'm doing okay at the racetrack. I don't think there's anybody else that could step up and do what he does. And he does all that, but he still makes sure that I'm well taken care of. And he really just does an amazing job. And I don't know when he's going to quit. I don't think he plans to, but it's
He's
okay.
he's a hard worker.
Yeah, he is. He runs around all day long. I know he tells me he's got this step thing on his phone, and he always shows me his steps after a weekend at the racetrack, and it's like miles and miles that he's walked around. It
Hmm.
is crazy. And he just always at the racetrack, if we don't have someone doing the grid, he'll do the grid. We don't have He scores a lot of the races if we don't have a score, or tries to teach them. He just steps in wherever he's needed all the time.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I messaged him about doing some announcing down there, so I'm gonna try and come down there and call some of the races for you guys. So you guys will at least have an announcer. I know Stevie's pretty busy, so you guys don't have an announcer.
Yeah,
But
that would be awesome.
yeah, as soon as I get some weekends opening up, I'm definitely gonna do it. I'm trying to get settled back into a rhythm right now with some changes, but we're I'm gonna get it set up. So hopefully in the next couple weeks. I don't know. I got to look at the schedule and see when you guys race again.
Yeah. It seems
But,
like every single weekend.
Yeah, for real.
I know it does. I'm also going to try and get Jared Jackson on the mic once or twice. He told me he would last time, and he didn't. And I'm gonna hold him.
That should be pretty good.
Yeah, Jared's pretty good. So I wanted to ask you two. You mentioned going to indoor karting and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if Dawson, have you done stuff like that with Taylor?
Yeah, I've gone once with her. It was terrible.
So let me. So if
bad.
you guys are racing and you're going into turn one over at what's it called now, Le Mans?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Le Mans now.
Yeah, Le Mans. If you're going into turn one at Le Mans and it's like the last couple laps and you're racing for position and Dawson's right there with you, okay? Is Dawson taking you out or are you taking Dawson out?
I don't know.
Oh.
Dawson is my girl. I don't know.
I'm not too mean.
Dawson
not
is a
too mean?
I'll just
sweetheart.
push her to the finish.
That sounds about right. But her
you ride
boyfriend on
second
the
behind
other
her?
hand,
Yeah.
Mr. Cole got me and him black flag 2 times, I believe there.
Oh, Cole's funny, man. He's a little rough sometimes, but
He
he's
was
funny.
trying to break my neck, I think.
And I had another question I'm going to hit at halfway here that I was asked by Cole to ask. So, and I know your favorite driver, Taylor, of driver is Kyle Busch.
Oh, yeah.
We're on the same boat there. But if you had to pick a karting driver, who is your favorite driver? Who would you say?
Oh, man. I don't know.
I think I know. It's between two of y'all for Dawson. She's going to
Yeah,
have
it
to
is.
pick one.
It better be between the two of us, and she better pick the right one. But for me, right now, honestly, I don't know because there's a lot of really good drivers, but I don't really talk to them. But then I have a lot of like favorite drivers just from like Dixieland and stuff like that are my really good close friends. So I could pick either. It could go either way. I mean,
let's say local.
local. Well, Philip Williams, me and
Okay.
him have gotten pretty close with this year racing together. Or of course Connor.
Oh yeah, Connor.
Yeah.
He's cool.
And I guess I'll take Cole. I guess.
I guess.
No. But yeah, that sounds about. I feel like I'm probably forgetting someone.
I don't know, but Cole was on here. I'll read his comment in a second, but Cole's dad said Cole couldn't catch you too.
No way.
So Cole said he'd take both of y'all out in a heartbeat.
He has. We
I
know.
wouldn't doubt it, yeah.
Well, I don't know about Dawson.
just
You told me your story, but I don't know if he'd take Dawson out.
No, he'll just lap me.
I
Most
don't
of the
know.
time.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Dawson went kind of slow when we went to the indoor karting. So, like, if Cole hit her at the indoor place, he'd probably hurt the both of them. So he'd be
Probably.
better off to just pass her.
Mr. AY on here watching with us. Thanks for watching, buddy. And
Oh yeah, bro.
yeah, Austin, good dude, really good dude.
Yeah, he
And
is. He's pretty cool too.
Yeah, he was supposed to be on the show a while back. I had some issues, and we got to get him back. So I'll get him back.
That'll be
on
a good
here.
one.
Yeah, Mr. AY. Since you're watching, there you go, buddy. There's your invite. I'll send you some dates. And I think I got a couple more questions I'm going to ask late. I'm going to save those for later. Like really good ones we can get into.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, I think we can kind of cover more of like of the classes, Taylor, that you have ran. What has been the favorite class for you that you've ran?
Honestly, when Red was letting me run his UAS cart and me and Ryan got to race together every weekend, that was a blast. That was a lot of fun, and that's a really cool opportunity to have. And I know this isn't going to happen, but I really do miss my buggy. I miss that champ cart. Animal on there was always a good time. It just tore up a lot of stuff occasionally. But I'd say probably UAS. Truthfully, I really don't care for the clone, but I mean, that's what karting's really coming to.
Mm-hmm.
And Predator for some reason. I'm not sure why that's happening. But Yeah, Animal or UAS.
Animal or UAS? And that's on the champ or the sprint animal, right?
Yeah, I run sprint. I run the Animal and the sprint now in VDK, and that's always fun time. It'll wear you out, but it's fun time.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Dawson, for you being around racing as long as you have, what's been your favorite type of racing to watch Taylor run?
Um, I never really got to see her that much run the buggy. I mean, I did sometimes, but not that much. Um, I think it's cool watching her run in the semi-pro with like a lot of bigger guys out there, and that's really cool seeing her like qualify up there, up in the front, and then watch her race the semi-pro classes. Um, and then Animal's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like watching the animal races.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a good animal race.
Mm-hmm.
Animal or something that's non-existent anymore, flathead. I always say that.
Yes, I miss Flathead.
You need to tell your dad to find a sponsor for, or I'll find a sponsor for a flathead race if he'll put it on.
I'm pretty sure he'll run anything as long as we
Yeah.
get 3 carts. And I still have Flathead, so there's one.
I got 2 of them. So
There we go.
now, other than classes, what's been your, aside from your home track, what's been a track that you haven't forgotten that you once you've ran at it that has really stuck out in your mind, Taylor?
Well, probably Charlotte because it is huge, obviously, and it's the complete opposite of Albemarle. And the first year we went to Charlotte, we ran good both years, but the first year it was something I've definitely never done before, and just figuring out how to draft and trying to make friends out there and find someone to draft with. That was a whole lot of fun, and it's just something you don't get to do every weekend.
Now, is that track much different than I haven't been down there and watched or raced on that track? Is it much different than Brunswick, or is it bigger?
Yeah, it is bigger than Brunswick. The straightaways are pretty long, and the turns they're not exactly sharp, but it's just a little bit longer than Brunswick, but it's the same scenario. You just don't come off like at Brunswick when you come off the turns, you come off so close to the wall and feel like you're about to wreck every time.
If
But
you're doing it
Charlotte,
right.
yeah, Charlotte, you just stay really on the bottom the whole time, and it's really 1 or 2 groove racetrack.
Gotcha. Okay, so Dawson, what has been a track that you've been to, whoever it's been with, whether it's Cole, Taylor, or whoever else, it doesn't matter. What's been a track that's really stuck out in your mind aside from Admiral?
Yeah, I honestly I really like Kinley. I don't know why. I just really like that track, and I don't know. That's just been my favorite track, and I tell Cole this all the time. I was like, "Can we just go to Kinley? I love that track." And I don't know why. They don't even have good bathrooms. They just have porta potties, but they're building bathrooms, so that's okay. I don't know why I like that track, and I liked Paradise, and we're going back. So
Oh yeah,
I did like that track. It was cool. Like, I don't know. That track's just different. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't seen one like that, so
Have either of you guys been to Possum Kingdom?
I haven't.
No, I haven't been to Possum Kingdom, but that'd definitely be cool to go there.
Yep, that's a bucket list track for me.
Yeah, for sure. Especially at all the big races they used to have and are now having again. That would be super cool.
Oh, Yarborough said he likes Paradise.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
I
Yeah,
haven't
Paradise
been
is
to
the place, man.
Paradise.
You haven't
Since
been to
they-
Paradise? Oh,
No, I've been once. Well, not once, but I've been before where it was whatever they've changed on it. I haven't been this year yet.
oh yeah. Now, he said that Admiral and Paradise are best 2 drivers tracks, which I agree with. There's another track that I enjoy, and that is it's out west Virginia, like not West Virginia, but Western Virginia. It's really flat,
Mm,
and they run the Dream Race there.
Providence.
Providence, that's the one. Yep, that's a driver's track too.
Yeah, I'd like to go there. They look like they have really nice clay out there.
Oh yeah, it's a really nice track.
Yeah.
But yep, Providence. It's what he just said. So are there any intentions for you guys? I know Halloween Havoc is a big thing, and you guys. So Capital City runs like the Spring Gobbler and the Turkey Trot. I know you guys have the Havoc race and the VDKA races. Has there been any talks, maybe, or any thought in your mind or want in your mind to add another big race to Albemarle?
Yeah, I think that would be really awesome. And I think our biggest downfall is kind of where we're located at. We're kind of pretty much in the middle of nowhere and close to the coast, and it's hard to get to, especially for people coming out of town. And I also think, I think we have plenty of parking, but just with the way the racetrack is arranged, it can be difficult. But we've had a max daddy race before, and
Junior next
yeah,
year,
we've had that, and I think that went pretty well. So, and a long time ago, we had when Mackie was doing the Mid Atlantic Series, we had one of those races, and both were great. So, I think it would definitely be awesome to have a bigger race in the
There's
future.
a UKS race too.
Yeah, UKS went good too. So maybe.
What about a summer shootout race? Just the summer shootout, single standalone event.
Yeah, I think everyone always asks, like Capital does the Spring Gobbler and Turkey Trot, and we do the Havoc race. If we could do something in the spring, and it's a great idea, but it takes so much to plan Havoc and make it actually happen that I just don't know. I think it'll take some extra planning to get a spring race or a summer race, but I think that would definitely be awesome.
Yeah. Now, I think that a summer, for me, I'm a summer kind of guy. I like summer racing. I don't really care for fall racing, and I don't really care for spring racing too much. It's got to be 100 degrees.
Oh my goodness.
I can't. Yeah. So for races like that, I myself would be more inclined to come for a summer race. I'll come watch Havoc, but once it comes race time, you guys can have that. It's a little chilly for me.
Oh gosh, if we could just get like the perfect like 70-degree day.
Yes.
I do not like the heat. I think I'll prefer it over winter. Yeah, Yarborough's right about that. I understand.
Yeah, it feels like it takes forever, but I like the location of the track, personally.
I do too. It's 20 minutes away.
20 minutes from my house too, so I like it.
I had another question and I completely lost it, but that's okay because we can move on. So what? Well, now that question's gone too. I'm sorry. That doesn't usually happen. If you had to say that, or you had to explain to someone how to drive Albemarle, how would you explain to somebody how to drive Albemarle? Because I'm asking for me because I need some help.
I think that the biggest mistake people make is they go there and they try to just drive it in wide open, and that's never going to work out for you until definitely maybe later in the day on a clone or something like that when it gets really good. But especially when you get there, you should probably lift before you think you need to lift, and you'll be good.
See, I'm full send all the time until the thing turns sideways, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I should lift.
Yeah, I understand. I think that's definitely probably the hardest thing to get used to is you want to drive it in there, but when you don't, the car definitely feels so much better.
Okay. I'll have to remember that one. And that's tips for anybody else too. This is from the home track girl. Home track girl right here. And your dad said that the race needs to be before April when the car track starts.
Yeah, so, that definitely makes sense.
Maybe I'll have to settle for a spring race.
Maybe.
Spring shootout sounds good too.
Shootout, yep.
Yeah.
Or spring sizzler or some weird, some name like that. So there you go, Doug. Spring sizzler. Message me and I'll help you out. We'll make it happen.
We'll start planning.
Yeah, start planning. So, running with Wes, I wanted to ask: has there been a time that it's been harder than others, like for you guys to click, or did you guys right out of the gate just click right together and you've been working well together ever since?
So, yeah, it definitely isn't always easy, especially because Connor's still running junior classes, and I've been running adult as long as I've raced with Wes. And when we both run clone, it's not so terrible, But when we run Animal, just what you need tire wise is so completely different from the clone that sometimes it can be difficult. And especially just the difference in driving the Animal. Wes tells me what I need to do, and I tell him what I think I need to do, and they're opposite of each other. And I think sometimes he thinks I'm crazy when we talk about tires. And his main thing is oh no, Doug's main thing is I'm not driving it, so it doesn't matter. And Wes is pretty much the same way. I think he likes to try a lot of stuff out on me, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But that's really only the honestly time we don't really see eye to eye, but we usually get it figured out by the end of the night.
Well, that's good. That's all that matters. And I know, like I said, I know Wes from before. I didn't know him personally before, but I've watched him race for a long time, from when I was in junior classes and stuff like that. So I know you've got the right help with you.
Yeah, Wes is really great. He definitely has a lot of knowledge and has been around racing a really long time, so that is helpful.
So, tips from Tate, just send it. So that's
Send
what,
it.
just send it. So kind of a little bit off of what you said, but
It is.
I'll try
It's
both
okay.
ways.
Someone will come get you out of the hay bales.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've only tasted once there, and that's because I got passed on the outside because I wasn't going fast enough.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, and that was in an amateur race.
Oh, I've had races like that.
Yeah, I came out of turn 2 and somebody was there, and I was like, "Oh Lord, okay." Just turning me right into the hay bales. What has been the toughest memory for you being at the racetrack? Since we're talking about that, what's been something that is just maybe not a heartbreaker, but something that's not easy to get over?
Okay, I don't even want to talk about this weekend. I've erased it from my memory, but last year when we went to the Big O, I had to run clone for the UKS race since they made it up the same weekend, and I was not a fan of that because there was about 2 million people there. And what we thought we needed to do to tires ended up being complete opposite of what we needed. We didn't have any tires, and I went out there the first day, and I didn't make the races, and that's been the first time ever that I haven't made a race, and it was really hard to get over that because you travel so far and you want to do good, of course, and it was just something I hadn't ever experienced before, and yeah, that was a rough one.
Dawson, were you with her for that?
I was not. When was that?
That was like towards the end of last year.
I remember
think.
watching it on Race Monitor, and I would like text her, and I know she wouldn't answer me, and I would always like, Taylor, you did good, or like, what happened? Like,
yeah.
I didn't see you out there, something like that. And she would just text me back as soon as she can, but I would just be keeping up on Race Monitor pretty much.
Yeah.
So Dawson, you've been around racing a while now, and you've seen a lot of different people race, like that you've, not a lot, but like that you've been around between Connor and Taylor and Cole. And what has been the biggest heartbreak that you remember for yourself? Like, because those races, even as you're watching, kind of break your heart.
Yeah, really, like, anytime, like, if I'm not there and something, like, good happens, like, there was one time I wasn't there and Cole won a race, or, like, and I wasn't there to congratulate him and I was just having to call him, or, like, the one time I didn't go to a race, he turned his go-kart over and I wasn't there, and it was kind of just scary, but pretty much just anytime I have to work. If I have to work and I'm not there at a race, I'm having to keep up on Race Monitor and keep updated with text messages and stuff. That's just the big, like, struggle, kind of heartbreak or whatever, that I get to miss those things.
So we got Austin here asking, and I don't know if you can see it on the screen. He's asking, what is your favorite race of the year to race or to watch? So Dawson, I'll let you go first.
Ooh, I really like Havoc because it's a close track and I get to see all the big boys there, but also, like, even like the Turkey Trot and Spring Gobbler, all the big boys are there too, and I like that track. But Havoc since it's so close, and I get to hang out with everybody the night before and
Yeah.
like have fun, kind of. So
All right. So what about you, Taylor?
So I definitely think Havoc is a great race to race and watch. It's always good racing. And I think it's really cool to see our local people get an opportunity to run with, like Dawson said, like the big dogs that aren't there every single weekend. And watching wise, if you're spectating, an open race is always a good one. It's always interesting because, like a champ buggy race, you don't know who's going to win because most
Yeah,
of the time half the field
exactly.
blows up,
yeah,
and it's always good racing.
yeah,
Yeah, Havoc has become one of my favorite, if not my favorite races, like races to attend or to watch or anything. The limited race at Admiral with all those people in it is one of the coolest races. I mean,
yeah,
it's like right there. The Big O and the Halloween Havoc are
Yep.
like this.
And
The
it's so
Big O
cool
is a
too.
lot to take in. So
Yes, it is. It's cool because the limiteds, you don't see that every weekend at Albemarle, and it's a driver's track, so it's always going to be good racing.
oh yeah, for sure. And like you said, it gives the local people a chance to
yeah,
show what they have. Maybe not what they have, but it's like this is my home track that you're coming to, so you got to
Yeah,
beat me
yeah.
now. Somebody like Jared
Yeah.
has run like 4,000 races on that track probably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I asked who is your favorite driver, but now I can kind of ask, like in karting, who is someone Taylor that you would say you maybe modeled your driving style after as you were coming up? It doesn't have to be a karting driver. It could be a car or somebody else that was racing at the time. It could be someone from Dixieland.
Honestly, I don't really know if there's anyone in particular, but especially I remember when I was younger and I would watch the adults race and just learning not to be afraid to let them know that you're there, and just learning to be tough and don't let anyone, make you upset. Just especially, yeah, just don't let anyone get by too easily. Definitely let them know that you're there. And I think that's how a lot of drivers are, but really my motto is just to drive everyone like they drive me. So
Okay, so we're good then. Now, so Dawson, do you have someone that has maybe become like, other than Cole and karting, like, was there someone when you were starting to watch racing that you're like, maybe you watched a race over the weekend at I don't know what other tracks are close to there other than Dixieland, but it could have been anywhere. Like Volusia, you go to Volusia and you have a favorite driver that shows up there.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, for Volusia, I didn't know anybody that was there. I don't know anything about like cars. Like I don't even know what they were racing there, late models. And so like I don't know any of those people, and it was just cool just watching. And like we were with Braxton Parrish, and Braxton was like, "Oh, this guy's gonna win." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, okay." And like learning about him, like he's a front runner. And for karts, I mean, I like to watch like Austin Yarborough. I like to watch him because I know he's like a front runner,
mhm.
and it's cool watching him be up there, and also in other like super heavy like Austin Wyatt and Monk Newsom, like them. Like I like watching them like up front and stuff like that. So
Well, that's really cool. Yeah, I know. For me, I didn't grow up on the dirt side. I grew up on the asphalt side watching cars. So it's a harder transition for me coming to dirt karts because I don't like racing on dirt myself. I like watching dirt races, but I don't like racing on dirt myself.
Mhm.
I like being clean and I just take an air hose and blow everything off when I'm done. That makes it way easier. But
It definitely does.
yeah, I think that having a having people to watch and people that you look up to or people that you look forward to watching is an important part of racing. Whether you're watching or you're racing or you're buggy pushing or you're the tire man or whatever, you have to have people to look for. So I think that's awesome to have, and I think I've got a couple more questions that are kind of in depth questions. So, what is Dawson? I'll start with you. What is the most important thing that you have learned since you have been around racing?
I mean, I pretty much know how to do everything but tires. Like I've learned tires and I know how to stagger them and I know how to do that, but I mean, I'm not going to take their jobs because I know I'm going to suck. But I've learned how to like take the motors apart, put the motors together, and it's something I probably would have never learned. And I mean, just how nice the people are and pretty much everybody at Albemarle, like we're all friends. And you can just go into somebody's trailer and start talking to them. And it's just cool how nice everybody is.
So the people, pretty much, and
Yeah.
and the ability to learn the different things that you wouldn't
Yes.
normally learn.
Yeah, I wouldn't have learned.
I got you. Yeah, that's really cool things to pick up. Like if I had never picked up racing, I would have never learned half the stuff that I know how to do now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Taylor, for you, what's been the most important thing that you've learned?
I would say about the same is just learning how to work on stuff, and it's really cool now knowing how to do mostly everything on your own to your go-kart, and I think it makes it that much more special when you run good. Of course, tires, same with Dawson. I don't need to know how to do tires. I don't want to try to know how to do tires. I'm completely content with just doing like the mechanic stuff. But I think it is definitely awesome just knowing how to do everything on your own. And then like the people side is just knowing how to talk to people and be respectful and knowing how to earn respect.
Yeah, I agree with that. And this kind of segues my last question. We got about 5 minutes left. But before I ask that question, Austin Yarborough, I don't know. Can you guys see what I post on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that the most badass, most exciting thing in karting, as a driver or a spectator for him, is the four wide salute at the Big O. I
Mhm.
cannot agree more. That thing, that four wide salute is just awesome
Yeah, it is.
because at the Big O, not every track can handle a four wide salute.
Mm.
So I think it's something really cool. And it kind of brings you to a level like with the sprint car four wide salute or NASCAR's four wide salute, things like
Yes.
that. And it's like, this isn't just a race anymore. This is a very important race. It's a prestigious race. So,
Mhm.
with for my last question that I'm going to ask, and you can kind of go however far you want to go with it. I have a daughter, and I want to know from each of you what is the best piece of advice that. Oh God, Tate, hold on. What is the best piece of advice that you can give a little girl coming into the racing world?
So the biggest piece of advice I would give a little girl is definitely do not get intimidated, and you will.
Yeah.
But just act like you don't. No one will know the difference, and definitely just stand your ground. Because like we talked about earlier, some people definitely don't take you as serious. But just talk to people how you want to be talked to, and raise people how you want to be talked to, and you'll be fine
Yeah.
for the most part.
Dawson, would you agree with that, or would you have
Yeah.
an
No,
additional piece?
I agree with that 100%.
It's definitely tough being a girl because people, I feel like they automatically look down on you
Yeah.
because, I mean, you can just look at the classes and there's, I know for us at Dixieland, there's a couple girls in the junior classes and I'm the only one running clone on a Saturday night. So that's pretty much, I think that's it.
So I had something I wanted to say, but before I say that, Tate asked me to ask you about the one time you did do tires.
When did I do that? Was that a long time ago? It had to be a long time ago because it was probably really bad. I don't even remember.
So while he's Tate, you gotta let us know when that was. She doesn't remember, buddy.
Yeah, I
But
need to know.
while we're waiting on that response, I wanted to tell you two that it is from a driver and pit crew member, family member, best friend, however you guys want to look at it, no matter what you do at the racetrack. And having, like I said, a little girl like I do that is, whether she wants to race or not, she's introduced to the racing world already. So you guys have been showing and proving that it's it's not impossible to be a female in a world of racing that they think that people, it is dominated by male. It is a male dominated world, but it's not an impossible world to come into and be successful or to enjoy or, you know, to do anything. Like it's just another reason, another proof piece of evidence that girls can do, women can do just as much as men can do. And I think it's
I'm
pretty
sorry.
cool.
See Tate's comment.
Yeah, Tate's funny, and I saw it, and I saw Thomas's comment too, and I was just finishing up. Thomas said, "Remember getting dusted by Stephanie Pitts many times back in the day? Girls can wheel it too. Yes, they can. Stephanie Pitts was and still and always will be one of my favorite drivers, not just female drivers, but one of my favorite drivers. I remember watching her growing up. Incredible talent." And Tate said, "You blistered the tire with the torch."
I did.
Okay.
I'm not proud of it, but it happened.
I mean,
So
it happens
I'm not
from
really
time to
sure
time.
why Mr. Doug. I guess we were shrinking tires. I don't know what we were doing, but for some reason I had the torch in my hand, and he did let me torch the tire, and I just was not spinning it fast enough, and I was way too close to the tire, and it bubbled up to a bubble like this big, no lie, and it was a brand new tire, and I had to go show Doug what I had just done, and it's somewhere on his Facebook because I did get joked about that.
I'll see if I can find that. I'm gonna share that on here.
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh, that's really funny. Let's see what time. All right, we're at 56 minutes. Is there anything you guys want to say for as far as being around the racing world for as long as you have? Is there anything that you guys want to say to the racing community that you've been around?
I mean, I enjoy it a lot. Like, I can't imagine not having racing in my life now. Like, it's part of my life now.
Yeah, you'll definitely learn a lot from it. There's a lot of good people, there's a lot of bad people, but just steer clear of that, and you'll learn so much from it. And especially to the kids, and especially like the little girls, like we were talking about coming out there, just open your heart to it, and don't set expectations for any people or anybody really, and just stay true to yourself always out there, because people will try to break you down, but look at us, we're doing great. You can do it.
So, just a heads up, I have asked many females to come on the show, many, and all of them were either said they were too shy, they were embarrassed, they couldn't talk in front of people, or there was many other reasons. So you two broke into that.
Yeah.
So again, it can be done, and it is fine. It is just a conversation. So I wanted to say thank you to both of you for coming on here, and I really like this two people together. So I might have to start doing the in-person shows. So I had talked to Ryan and Tim about, or not Ryan and Tim, but Ryan and Colin about doing that last time, but I just didn't have time to do it. So I might have to make that a thing in the future.
I think with us doing it together, the nervous and shy stuff, obviously we're comfortable around each other. So this being able to be together on camera definitely helped out a lot, I think.
Well, I think that's great, and I think you two did really well together. And I thoroughly enjoyed this show. And it gave both of you an hour, not just one of you an hour.
Yeah.
And not one of you this amount of time, and not one of you this X amount of time, and you meet in the middle for this time. So I think this was a really cool episode that we did here. And like I said, thank you again for both of you coming on here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, absolutely. It's awesome to get to talk to good people and to get a different perspective, and we get people like Austin Yarborough following on here and being able to talk with you guys and ask questions and say different things like that. So I think that's awesome.
I think it was awesome too, because some of the questions you asked are definitely not typical questions that just anyone could ask you, and especially just because you kind of know us, so it made it more personal, and I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it more relaxed. You want a
Yeah.
relaxed feel,
Yeah.
So I think that worked out really nicely. But again, I'm gonna let you guys get off of here. Thank you so much for coming on here. I'm gonna get ready to announce our first guest for next week. So, which I think you guys both already know who it is.
Oh yeah.
So, but thanks so much for coming on here. Hopefully, when we go, I'm gonna do a couple people with round 2 before too long, because we're getting into we're about to get into the episode 20 range area, something like that. And I wanted to do some different stuff, change some things up, and I might get some feedback from you guys later on. But again, thanks for coming on here. I really appreciate it, and I'll be talking to both of y'all. Okay,
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
bye.
Bye.
I didn't mean to cut Dawson off. I'm sorry, Dawson. But what a great show. That was awesome. And I think it really worked out having both of them on at the same time. It was really fun. It was really great. And like they said, because I know them and I know Cole, which is Dawson's boyfriend, and I'm friends with Cole. I think it gives another level of being able to ask different questions and more friendlier, funnier questions, more fun, relatable questions. But without getting into too far off a tangent talking, I can go ahead and announce next week's first guest. And I know before I do that, I got to say thank you to you guys for watching. Thank you guys for commenting. Austin Yarborough, big, huge thanks to you for following along, commenting, and everything else that you did, dude. Big time. It's good to have guys like you watching who I know you have a big reach. So that's great. And then Tate, you have a big reach too, buddy. And I'm really glad to have you guys like you on here every week too. Thomas and anyone else, Cole, all you guys that have commented on here. And I'd have to look back through and read all the comments to see who else was on here. Doug. But it's been great having all you guys following along, commenting, and everything with that. And I just want to say thank you to all of you also. Thank you to anyone that's watched, or thank you to anyone that's watching in the future. And I really appreciate all of that and the feedback and the comments and everything. But also, thanks for the patience that everyone has shown and still following along with the show. When I've got a lot of changes going on that I'm having to deal with, and I'm still trying to make the show a priority, but it's been really hard. And I have an hour and a half drive to work, back and forth to work every day, an hour and a half one way. So I have to run home as soon as I get off work and jump right on here. And then I have to find time in the afternoons to go live and everything like that for guest announcements and stuff. So I was just letting you guys know that I'm trying, and I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. So keep it up, and I'll keep trying. I'll keep pushing. I'll keep doing the best that I can. So without pushing it too far, I am going to go ahead and announce our first guest for next week at 6 o'clock on next Thursday. We're going to have Mr. Cole Jarrett, who I'd already mentioned is Dawson's boyfriend, but he's a big reason that we got Dawson on here and Taylor on here and stuff like that. So I think it's thank you, Doug. Really appreciate it. And if it wasn't for you having come on as early as Doug Johnson commenting on here, he said great job. If it wasn't for people like Doug coming on early on when the show was on, then I wouldn't have taken the show as far as I have. So, but Cole's coming on at 6 o'clock next week, and he's a good buddy of mine. He's given me a lot of tips and a lot of feedback on the show, a lot of different things that I've been able to do, and I hope you guys like this setup. Hopefully I can stick with this. This worked out nicely, and the internet held up, so we're going in the right direction now. But if anybody's trying to get a hold of me, or if anybody wants suggestions for the show, you can reach out to me on either the email. I get on my email every day, so you can reach out to me in there. Facebook's the best way to get a hold of me. We do have a Twitter page, which we don't use that much, and then we're on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. But Facebook, Twitter, and my email are the best ways to get a hold of me. So, or if you have my number, people have my number. But the show wouldn't be what it is without all of you guys. So keep up the likes and share the videos. The more views we get, the more views that you guys get. So keep it up, and I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys on Monday. Am I going to do it on Monday? Yeah, we'll do it on Monday. And have a happy 4th of July weekend. Everyone stay safe. I hope to see everyone back on the show following along on Monday and on next Thursday. So, see you next time.